Shut your damn cake hole!
Shut your cake hole!
Hello fight fans, welcome to Shut Your Cakehole TV episode 4. Tonight we have the finals of the SYC Championship Tournament by Mike Smith with Lord Best.
Good evening fight fans.
And we have a warm-up match before the big event itself. Here we have Charlie Shambles, who's eliminated in the first round of the tournament, against a man who caused a lot of controversy last week, Lord Best, Miracle Dude.
Yes, and whilst he was understandably incredibly upset with the interference in his own match, I don't think anybody truly expected him to interfere in another match. Could this possibly be Miracle Dude's fall from grace? He could be a very bitter and angry man by this point. But I guess we'll have to see if that comes across in this match.
Well, it's good to see Chris Rulebook back here tonight. I'm sure he'll make sure that there'll be no more rules getting broken here on SYC TV.
I'm sure he will. Well, of course, as we all know, rulebook by name, rulebook by nature.
And a handshake before these two wrestlers begin this match. We've really seen a change, Lord Best, from Miracle Dude over the last few weeks. He's gone from a man who always played by the rules to someone who he now treads the boundary between what's legal and what's illegal.
He certainly does, and I think that can be quite clearly illustrated by his jumping on Charlie Shambles earlier there and throwing him to the ground there in a manner that you would expect more from somebody like the Goon or Infinity. But nevertheless, helping him up with a gentleman's handshake. Could it possibly be that it's merely just a phase?
Some great punches from Miracle Dude. And Charlie Shambles looks out of his league in this one. He's calling for testosterone. But no, he's clearly overpowered in this one. Just Rulebook straight in there. 1, 2. We've got some precision from referee Chris Rulebook here.
We certainly do. But then here Miracle Dude comes in with additional punches, and it looks like Charlie Shambles is out of his league in this one. Miracle Dude is merely pushing him around. He's not even bothering to go in with any real moves.
Well, we've certainly seen a change in Miracle Dude. He even said that his finisher, the Dreadlock Headlock, he now wants it to be called the Hero's Dream Hold.
Yes, he has, and he seems to be playing up to the crowd way more than usual. He used to be a quite quiet and reserved man, but now he seems to be trying to hog as much glory as he possibly can. And could it be that? Yes, I think it's quite possible. Charlie Shambles may have even been knocked out by that hold.
So there's the Hero's Dream Hold in place, a modified sleeper hold, and Charlie Shambles is certainly a dream hold at the minute. This one is all over.
And there it is. The Hero's Dream Hold has won it. Will he ever be the same again?
Well, we're just a few seconds away, fight fans, from the biggest fight we've ever had on Shut Your Cakehole TV, the finals of the SYC Championship Tournament. Lord Best, the replay.
Yes, here you can see the new sleeper hold, the newly named sleeper hold is there, and it seems like Charlie Shambles is, yes, he looks like he's knocked out like quite a while before.
Here we are, the finals. And there is the brand new gold belt. A beautiful piece, Lord Best.
It certainly is. Made out of 372 karat gold.
And here's Tommy Disaster. What a fairy tale ending it could be for him tonight. The orphan who grew up on the streets, fighting his way to survive.
It is. It's almost a David and Goliath kind of situation here. If Tommy Disaster pulls this off and defeats the huge, towering bulk that is the Goon, then it will truly be a fairy tale ending for him. However, he could well end up going home in a box.
The Goon, of course, has never been beaten in one-on-one competition, and this is sure to be a great match. Some punches from the Goon. Tommy won't go down that easy. He's got a lot of heart.
He certainly has. He's got one of the biggest hearts out of any people that I've known. And here he is, struggling to his feet, clearly dazed from that initial onslaught, but refusing to go down.
Well, I had a chance to speak to Tommy Disaster earlier today, and he said, Mike, I'm not feeling 100% with my body, but in soul, in heart, and in mind, I'm 200%.
Yes, I would say he's at least 200% in soul and in mind. And here you can see his soul truly shining through, really playing upon his soul there to try and move into some soulful punches and really soulfully moving in against the Goon there.
The Goon. Is he the monster, the nightmare that will stop Tommy from realising his dream? The Goon, so dominant, so destructive. It could all change with just one hell cruncher, Lord Best. One hell cruncher.
It certainly could, but then the same could be said of the Disaster Piece. If Tommy Disaster can play his cards right and get the Disaster Piece in there, then it's quite possible that he could win over the Goon. And I think most people in this room tonight are rooting for Tommy Disaster here.
Tommy Disaster hits a great leg drop. It's been such a long road to this final match. Both men have had to overcome some obstacles, both physically and emotional, to get here tonight, and the Goon now taking control of this match.
Certainly. Speaking of obstacles, I spoke to Tommy Disaster earlier tonight, and it would seem that on his way there he very nearly didn't even make it to the match. It would seem that somebody had put several large skips in the way of his chauffeur's car, and he had to take on an alternate route through the alleyways, where he was ambushed by several mysterious dark hooded strangers. I'm not entirely sure who they could possibly have been, but it's possible that there was some foul play. However, Tommy Disaster managed to escape completely unscathed and is here tonight to fight for the championship.
And Tommy Disaster now in charge of this match, hitting back with those street fighting right hooks. He learnt those on the streets.
Yes, he did, whilst he was fighting on the streets, in fact. As we've said before, he is a street fighting man. Fighting on the streets is where he grew up. He grew up on the streets and he was fighting on the streets. He loves to fight, particularly when he's on the streets. Nevertheless, he's also equally good at fighting outside the streets. For example, inside a building, like here, tonight.
1, 2.
And so close, the Goon nearly sealed it there. That was 2.5. Christopher Rulebook counting that one. As close as can be, that count, Lord Best.
Definitely as close as can be. If it was any closer, then it would have been a 3 count and the Goon would have won. However, it wasn't quite that close because, obviously, that would have meant the Goon winning, and he hasn't won just yet. However, it's still early days and it looks like he could still very well win this one. He does seem to be the dominant one in this match, but only by a small hair.
1, 2, 3.
And it looks like Tommy Disaster has won this match.
What a magnificent fairy tale ending for the small boy who grew up on an orphan on the streets and street fighting his way to the top to now become the championship of Your Cakehole Television.
Well, it's been a memorable tournament. Lord Best, can you take us through the best replay?
I certainly can. And here we see the Goon slightly dazed by Tommy Disaster's kick. He goes in for the Disaster Piece, and then from there moves in for the pin. You notice here that usually when the Disaster Piece is applied, the opponent is completely obliterated and the pin is merely a formality, but this time he really had to struggle with that to get there. But I think he's worked incredibly hard to get where he is now to win this tournament, and I think